Welcome to one of the most spectacular venues in the world, AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. The superstar athletes of Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship are ready to battle for the win. Who will grab the whole shot? You can hear the cheer. He is the crowd favorite. Will that be too much pressure or the motivation for him to get the win?
Hi guys, well we recently looked at the Nintendo Switch version of MXGP3 and to be blunt, it was an embarrassingly bad port thanks to its downgraded graphics, frequent frame rate issues and missing core features. Monster Energy Supercross has also been released on the Switch, and I'm happy to report it's nowhere near as bad as MXGP3. The graphics have still had a noticeable downgrade from the PS4 and Xbox One versions, as you might expect, but the textures look much sharper than the Switch version of MXGP3. The pop-in that played MXGP3 is now gone as well, and the frame rate is a lot smoother, though there is still some slowdown when all the riders bunch together on the first corner, but then the other versions of the game suffered from this as well. Some of the visual effects are also missing, like the mud flicking off your back wheel, and there's no track deformation either, once again. But overall, the visuals are a considerable improvement over MXGP3, which was unplayable at times. That said, it still looks like a last generation game, and doesn't showcase what the Switch can do. It runs well in handheld mode too, replicating the experience of playing the game in docked mode on the TV very well, without any compromises, which is of course one of the Switch's best selling points. It really delivers that home console experience on a handheld, continuing where the Vita left off. Customization was another standout feature of Monster Energy Supercross, and thankfully this has been retained in the Switch release. There's a practically endless variety of options, allowing you to customise everything from the rider's helmet and goggles to the colour of your bike's handlebars, and you can also upgrade mechanical components as well. It really sets new standards for customisation in a bike game. Monster Energy's controls also translate well on the Switch. There aren't many realistic racing games available on the system right now, so you'll probably find it challenging to play if you're used to games like Mario Kart. The physics have a lot of depth. You have to manually adjust the rider's position before you take a jump and when you land to maintain momentum and keep your speed up, for example. You can't just keep your thumb planted on the throttle and power slide around every corner like in Mario Kart. Pulling off scrubs and whips over jumps and using the rear brake to slide around tight turns is still very fun and satisfying. The only issue is that the triggers on the Switch aren't analog, as I mentioned in my MXGP3 overview as well. This means you can't accelerate or brake progressively, which isn't ideal for a game that requires so much precision, but you do soon get used to it. Unfortunately, there are still some glaring omissions that are frankly unforgivable. One of the game's most innovative features was the advanced track editor. This added a lot of replay value to the game, as you could create and share your tracks with other players and download other players' tracks as well. But the editor is sadly missing in the Switch version. It's a real shame because this was also a staple feature of the Excite Bike games, but Nintendo seems reluctant to revive the series for some reason. Monster Energy could have filled that void, so it's such a missed opportunity. As you've probably noticed, the number of on-screen bikes has significantly reduced from 22 down to 12, so the races lack the intensity of the other versions. And the game doesn't even try to hide this reduction either. All the gates where the other riders would normally start have just been left empty. Arguably the game's biggest sin, however, is the complete lack of online and local multiplayer. The Switch is designed to be played with friends, so to not even have online multiplayer like the other console releases is unacceptable, particularly when it's still being sold at full price. And that's really all there is to say about Monster Energy Supercross on Switch, to be honest. Don't get me wrong, it is still fun to play, and it is the only Supercross game currently available on the system. There are improvements over MXGP3, but the missing track editor and multiplayer really lets the game down. As for future milestone titles, MXGP Pro won't be released for the Switch, presumably because it will be difficult to adapt the simulation elements to the limited hardware. There will, however, be a Switch version of MotoGP 18 in June though, so it'll be interesting to see how it compares to Monster Energy. Hopefully they can further optimise the engine and, who knows, maybe even add multiplayer as well. But that's it for this look at Monster Energy Supercross running on the Switch, and we'll have more racing game Nintendo Switch content coming soon.